The Goods and Services Tax, commonly known as GST, is, well, a complex system. It involves various provisions that govern its implementation and administration. Section 107 of the Central Goods and Services Tax Act, 2017, or the CGST Act, is a crucial provision. It deals with appeals to the Appellate Authority against orders passed by tax authorities. This section provides a mechanism for taxpayers to challenge decisions made by lower authorities. These decisions could involve tax assessments, penalties, or other related matters. Section 107 is essential for ensuring fairness and transparency in the GST system. It allows taxpayers to seek redress if they believe that the tax authorities have erred in their decisions. This right to appeal is fundamental to protecting the interests of taxpayers. It ensures that they have a legal recourse against arbitrary or incorrect orders. The Appellate Authority plays a vital role under Section 107. It functions as a neutral adjudicator between the taxpayer and the tax department. Its primary responsibility is to examine the legality and correctness of the order appealed against. After considering the submissions of both sides, the Appellate Authority issues its decision. This decision can either uphold, modify, or overturn the original order. The effectiveness of Section 107 relies heavily on the Appellate Authority's adherence to the principles of natural justice. The authority must give both parties a fair hearing and base its decisions on evidence and legal provisions. Any deviation from this process can undermine the fairness and integrity of the GST appeal system. In a significant development concerning Section 107 of the CGST Act, the Calcutta High Court recently delivered a landmark judgment. The case involved a taxpayer's appeal against an order passed by the Appellate Authority. The authority had, on its own accord, increased the taxpayer's liability without any formal challenge from the tax department. The High Court, in its ruling, overturned the Appellate Authority's decision. The court held that the Appellate Authority does not possess the power to enhance a taxpayer's tax liability unless the department has filed a formal appeal seeking such an increase. This judgment has far-reaching implications for taxpayers, as it clarifies the scope and limitations of the Appellate Authority's powers under Section 107. The judgment has been hailed as a victory for taxpayers' rights. It reinforces the principle that tax authorities must operate within the bounds of the law and cannot arbitrarily increase a taxpayer's liability. The court's interpretation of Section 107 provides much-needed clarity on the powers of the Appellate Authority, which is crucial for ensuring fairness and consistency in the GST appeal process. This ruling serves as a reminder to appellate authorities across the country that their role is to adjudicate appeals within the framework of the law. They cannot exceed their jurisdiction by taking actions that are not expressly permitted under the CGST Act. Such actions would undermine the balance of power between taxpayers and tax authorities, which is essential for a fair and equitable tax system. The case before the Calcutta High Court involved a taxpayer who had filed an appeal under Section 107 of the CGST Act. The taxpayer was challenging a particular aspect of an order passed by a lower tax authority. The Appellate Authority, while hearing the appeal, decided to go beyond the scope of the taxpayer's grievance. Instead of focusing solely on the issue raised by the taxpayer, the Appellate Authority proceeded to examine the entire tax assessment. In a surprising move, the authority, on its own initiative, decided to increase the taxpayer's tax liability. This decision to enhance the tax liability was made even though the tax department had not filed any formal appeal or objection seeking such an increase. The taxpayer, taken aback by the Appellate Authority's decision, challenged this action in the Calcutta High Court. The taxpayer argued that the Appellate Authority had acted beyond its jurisdiction by increasing the tax liability without any appeal from the department. This move, according to the taxpayer, violated the principles of natural justice and the provisions of the CGST Act. The taxpayer's challenge raised important questions about the powers of the Appellate Authority. The case highlighted the potential for abuse if the authority could enhance tax liability without any formal challenge from the department. Such a scenario could create uncertainty and fear among taxpayers, as they would be vulnerable to arbitrary increases in their tax liabilities during appeal proceedings. The judgment also places significant restrictions on the powers of the Appellate Authority. This means, essentially, that the authority cannot overstep its boundaries or make decisions beyond its jurisdiction. This is a crucial development, as it ensures that the Appellate Authority remains within its legal limits, providing a fair and balanced process for all parties involved. For taxpayers, this judgment is particularly significant. It provides much-needed clarity and protection, ensuring that their rights are safeguarded. The ruling emphasizes that taxpayers should not be subjected to arbitrary decisions, thereby promoting a more transparent and just tax system. This is in many ways a win for taxpayers who now have a clearer understanding of their standing and the limitations of the tax authorities. The implications of this judgment are far-reaching. Taxpayers must now be more vigilant and aware of their rights and obligations. It is therefore highly advisable for taxpayers to seek expert advice to navigate the complexities of the tax system. Legal experts can provide valuable guidance and ensure that taxpayers are well informed and adequately protected under the new legal framework. In conclusion, this judgment marks a significant shift in the landscape of tax law. It not only limits the powers of the Appellate Authority, but also strengthens the position of taxpayers. Moving forward, it is essential for taxpayers to stay informed and seek professional advice to fully understand and benefit from these legal protections. Thank you for joining us as we explored this important development in tax law.